Hmm. All right. Okay. Let me get the screen presented. If someone is joining, we'll check. Otherwise, let's start. All right. So, ठीक है. Like a combination of HTML and CSS is the only project. ठीक है. My point is कि normal HTML tags, which tags to use in the project, that is already known to us. So, like tag wise, we I think uh, like you can figure out like what are the tags required and how to achieve the project. Maybe some what we can discuss where to use a span tag or maybe where to use the div or the list item. So this can be a part of discussion, but anyways, like that is not like that hard. All right, just a minute. Why did this happen? Any issues? Okay, we are good. So what I will do is I will open web development module. Okay. Till this opens, let's see some more things. So CSS introduction was done. Okay, CSS introduction was done, and what are the things required? We discussed that part. Selector was also done in the last session. Selector is done right in the last session. CSS selectors or all right. Okay, so selectors are done. Okay, flexbox is we have to start with flexbox, right? I suppose flexbox and grid. All right. Okay. So this will be used mostly in the project, okay? Because we'll discuss the features, okay? Because that is one important part we need to do. So what I will do is all right. So what I will do is also here is music player. All right. Let's go to the music player. Number point is it says we have learned most of the things in CSS. It's time for a major project. Build a screen of a music player. We will be working with a music player in JavaScript as well, but that is later. Okay. We need to create everything from scratch using HTML and CSS. Not supposed to use Bootstrap or any other front-end frameworks. Okay. You can visualize the rest of images that are provided below. My point is, let me open one of them, and I guess we are good to go. So open the link in new tab. All right. Now Flex will be used most of the part. How it work, how it will be working is this box. How to arrange the card layout side by side. How to make them kind of responsive. We'll study about responsiveness also. So there's a long list over here. We have list item. How to arrange them in the left and right corners. That part we'll discuss. And mostly if we are done with the flex or grid now, like most of the part is easier one. Okay, so let's just get started with that part, and maybe we try to build this part, or we try to build this one. Okay, so that we can like at least combine them and make the complete project. So that is the whole idea. I will start with flex today. Okay, let's see how flex work. So let's say that consider this complete as a container. So container can be a div, it can be a section, or like say main. So these are the container. Container means which contains other tags. So for example, div can be a container. Let me assign a class to this one. I can call it a container. Inside this, we can have divs, okay? And I can go with item, okay? Item. All right, we can give more than one class. We know this, right? We can have more than one class, so we can separate them with the space, and we can have more than one class. Now, for an example, let's say I have these four devs, okay, and I want to arrange them in such a way that it can have a card-based layout or something else. I will assign them some height and width. So going through the internal CSS, okay. So follow the internal CSS part. I can say that dot container, since it is a class, it will carry a dot. So I have this height and weight. So let the height be 400 pixels. 300 would be good. Okay, 300 would be good, and the width can go as 500 pixels. So this can be imagined as a container. Now it is advisable always to have some height and width. Okay, the div we have, the container we have, can also be auto adjusting, but it is always good to have height and width. It can be fixed, it can be relative. We'll study about fixed and relative when we study about units. Okay, but yeah, that is the point. Now my point is, all right, so this is what we have. Let me check if it is on. So it is on. Okay, next is how do we use it. So this is the container height and width. Then comes the styling of items. So let's give the item some height and width. So height can go 100 pixels and width can go 100. These This container has a size, and these can have some sizes, right? So maybe it has 100 pixels cross 100 pixels. Okay. Finally, dot item one, which is the separator, like how to separate the boxes. They can have separator styles. So background color can go over here, and the background color can be, let's say, it can be something like this. And for all the items, similarly, I can assign this color. So we have the background color. This is item one, item two, item three, and finally the item four. Just a minute. Now for the flex, we have this, and we can choose some other color over here. So, and we can have some content also inside that. So let's see that part. And finally, I have this color maybe. All right. So yeah. Now, how do we give it flex, and how does it arrange themselves? Let's see that part. I will try to open this inside the browser. So copy path and okay. So finally, maybe these are the contents we require, okay, in our boxes. Okay. How does this work? Let's see. So these four boxes may represent this one. So here we have images and some text inside it. So this is arranged something like this in a horizontal manner, row wise and column wise. So row wise and column wise it is arranged. Now I want to arrange these boxes as well. So what I can do is I can follow. There are two things, two display properties we already have. We already know what are those display properties. Do you guys know about display and inline? Sorry, block and inline. So those are display properties. Okay, block means correct, very correct. Block means block the rest of the width of the page. Okay, and inline means anything can, yes, correct, in sequence. So one can after come after the other, no issues. So these two values are block and inline are the values of display css property. Okay, and one of the properties flex. Now flex says that I can arrange the boxes in a horizontal manner. By default I can arrange them in a horizontal manner. Now why we can arrange these things in a flex? Because flex gives us control. Okay, flex give us control how do we want to display them. Either I go with this horizontal, either I go with vertical, and I can have nested flex also. Like this list is arranged, and inside this these cards are also arranged. like this heart icon is there, this number and images. So everything can be achieved by flex. Now this is by default, the horizontal flex is there. Why I am focusing on flex is, see this, these are self adjusting. What do I mean by self adjusting? Now the complete width is over here, right? So this is the complete width. You see this blue line, not the yellow one. So till the blue line, dashed blue line, this is all 500 is the width of container, and these four are having 100 width. So 100 pixel is remaining. Now flex give us some things. For example, how can I have equal spaces in the boxes? That is justify content. Okay, justify content, I can have equal spaces in the boxes. There's something called as space around. Space around. Okay, this is a space around. All right, I want to give this a background color so that you can like, you guys understand the background also. Okay, so this is the background and this is the box. I want to arrange them. Okay, I want to arrange them, and these are self adjusting. How what do I mean by self adjusting? So space around is this property, space between is this property, between, and space evenly is this property. So this is horizontal spacing. Now I want vertical spacing. For that, I have something called as align items. Okay. Either I can go center wise. Okay. I can arrange them in a center. So I can go something like this. So these are self-adjusting themselves. Even if I increase my item size, so they will equally decide what should be the space. For example, if you can see, I'm increasing the height, but the center is maintained. Center does not change. One is this point. That is why we are going to use flex. And if I talk about width, so you can say increasing or decreasing, everything is self-adjusting. Okay, the space remain constant, even though it doesn't matter how much we want to increase or decrease the item thing. What are the properties of display? Display flex, justify content space evenly, background, justify content horizontal, like parallel to the axis, alignment, align items vertical perpendicular to the axis. Okay. By default, horizontal arrangement of item is there. Now we can have vertical arrangement of icons. Vertical arrangement of icon is also possible. For that, we have a property, we call it flex direction. Flex direction, I can go with column also. Okay, so column wise, I can arrange them in the, okay. So column wise, I am arranging them in the center. Okay, so this is the center part. So now this is vertical. So parallel to it is justify content. Okay, parallel में justify content, and center means the perpendicular to the axis. So vertical. So this is what column flex direction is. Now we can reverse the boxes, like this will come up. So we can do this also. So we have something called as column reverse, or we have row reverse also. Row reverse also. This is why we are going to use flex. So these properties are given to us. Coming back to the boxes, okay. Now, how do we achieve this kind, like self-adjusting? If the box increases size, it should come in the row. Currently, we have a single row, right? We can have multiple rows. How does this work? We have a property, we call it flex wrap. Flex wrap. How does this work? I can, the value will be wrapped. So how does this work? So if the width of my items, since it is self-adjusting, what it will do is, whenever it feels that there is no space, it will try to shift in the coming rows. So this is what it is. The wrap property will do. Okay? So this is what the flex wrap property will do. Now following are the things. Okay? Now this wrap also work as wrap reverse. So wrap reverse means this will be reversed. Okay. How does this work? Let's see. So we have wrap reverse. Okay. Otherwise, wrap is. Now this is what flex is. So justify content means a space between the boxes horizontally. Align item is means align them vertically, then flex direction is row reverse, and then wrap is there, flex wrap is there. All right, so this is what we have. Then I have the items, okay, inside these boxes. So these are the arrangements we have. Now we have such certain other properties, okay. We have so this is for container, okay. Container is the bigger box, and inside we have items. Now we have properties for items also. For items, we have things like for items we have things like align self, okay. We have align self, and we have these for a single item I can move them up and down the axis, okay. I can move them up down the axis. So align self is one of a property. So this is what we have. Now if you guys want to like study more about flex one, so there is a website, we call it css tricks, okay. Let me open it. So flex box. Now flex box, inside this we have everything. Flexbox means a container is there, and we are having the item set self adjusting item is there. So container display flex. This is the flex directions, possible direction, row reverse, column and column reverse. Flex wrap is there, which we just saw. Justify content, how to arrange item inside a div, okay, and everything is over here. Then align items like vertical to the axis, okay. So stretch, flex start, flex end, center, baseline, and everything is over here. You can just go through it. Align content is there for multiple rows, okay. Then we have something called as gap between the boxes, so you can just check it out. So this is for the container, okay. Items के लिए we have something like, let's see. Flexbox items also have certain properties. For example, now you know that how to make this one, okay, how to make this part of music player, because we know about flex now. So this will be self-adjusting, less code, less CSS, and you will achieve like most of these styles. Is it clear till here? Like Flexbox is getting clear? Uh, okay. So this can be very useful. So some we need to some like if you want to do it fast, we need to like follow some good standard like coding, so we can achieve that thing. Now my point is next is order, okay. These boxes are in order. So this is is it row reverse? Yeah, it is row reverse. I will let me change it. Now it is in the correct order. So item 1 is first one, item 2 is second, item 3, then item 4. Now my point is I can change the order. What do I mean by changing order? I want this green to appear here on the top. How can I do this? I want my green, which is the third box, to appear at the top. For that, we have a property. We call it or. Yeah, go on. Yes, yes, correct, correct. So it is the order property. How does it work? What value should I give to appear at top? All right, zero is the default. Okay, or I can give this as a negative value. Same thing. Yeah, you are correct. You are very very correct. Not an issue. Okay. So this is just like number line. Negative means higher priority. Going left means higher priority. Okay. So this is order -1, so it will appear first. Now this is we can assign it order maximum so that my first one can come at last. Okay. For example, I want to give it a order 1. So this will come at the last. So this order property defines where should the elements be coming. Flex grow. Okay, let's see this. What is flex grow and what is flex shrink? Okay. All right. What I will do is I will remove this flex wrap, and let's make the width original width. Okay. Original width was 100. Why it is? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry, guys. Original width was for the items. It was 100 pixels. Okay, it was 100 pixels and the height was also 100 pixels. Okay, this was the original thing. Okay, now there is a property for elements, we call it a flex grow. Flex grow property. How does this work? Let's see. Now, flex grow 1. Okay. If there is a tendency to grow, okay, I can assign a flex grow property to an item and it will grow itself. Okay. If there is a tendency to grow, I can assign that item as 1 and it will cover the remaining space, which is happening with this one. Acha, what do it mean? It means that flex grow is set to 1. So what will happen if I say flex slash grow 2? Now third box is having flex grow 2. First box is having flex grow 1. Original size of these four boxes were 100 pixel. Okay. So total cover width is 400 pixels, 4 into 100. The container size is 500 pixel in width. So 100 pixel is the remaining space between the boxes. Now the question for you guys is, tell me what is the size of this last one and the first one. Original size was 100 and the space they are occupying is 100 pixels. Third item is having flex grow 2 and first one is having flex grow 1. Remember, only is empty space is occupied. Okay. Acha, tell me 100 pixel was the empty space. Do you guys agree with this? Now, hmm, all right, all right. So, what is the width of first one? So, two is, yeah, correct, right? 166, right? All right. So, 100 by 3 will give 33. Now, it is taking in ratio 2 to 33 into 2, 66. So, 166 for the this one and 133 for the first one. All right. So this is what flex grow is. I hope this is clear to all of you. It is clear, right? Okay. So I will just remove this flex grow. Now we have one more property. We call it flex shrink. Let's see how does this work. So flex shrink is 1. Now item 3 has a flex shrink of 1. Now we'll say, sir, there is no changes. Let's see the changes. So what I will do is I will increase the height. Sorry, I will increase the width of the boxes. All right. Uh, okay. Okay. So this ways it will not show us the effect. Now what I need to do is, okay. Let's pick item and let's increase the width. Let's see what is happening. Okay. So let's make it something around 300. Okay. So this is going to be 250. This is 83.4. All right, this is flex shrink. So flex shrink should be applied to only this one. Why are they taking the flex shrink? Let me put flex shrink as 0. Okay, we'll get to know. That's not so difficult to understand. I will say flex shrink to 0. All right. Now my point is, If there is no space, flex just opposite of flex grow. If there is a space, who will grow how much? If there is no space, who will shrink how much? Now I have given them 0, okay, and I have given everything as 0. Instead, item 3 is having flex shrink as 1. So the extra space which is acquired is given by our item 3 because it is having flex shrink 1. So it always depends on how much shrink it is going to take. Is the point clear, guys? Flex shrink. Okay. So increasing the number is going to like give it all of it. Okay. I was curious. What was the one's ability to flex to shrink if necessary? Yeah, obviously it is necessary. Negatives and numbers and valid. I was curious what can be taken. By default, it is one. Okay, it is that is why. Okay. Remember, flex shrink by default is one. It's that is why I have to mark other as zero. Okay, because they were also shrinking. So I got to know that default value is not zero; it is one. I was wondering what is the last size. Okay, anyways, you can just figure it out. Okay. So these are exotic use cases. Like maybe you will need, otherwise you will not need. So that is the thing. Aligning self, I know. Sorry, aligning self just told that if you want to move any particular item out of the access, you can use align self. That is totally fine. Flex property is combination of flex, shrink, flex basis. Now, one thing which is remaining is what is flex basis. Let me check it out. This is something I need to check. So it is saying flex basis. This defines the default size of element before a remaining space is distributed. Default size of element, it can be a length, for example 20%, 5, or a keyword. The auto keyword means look at my width or height property, which was temporarily done by main size keyword until deprecated. The content keyword means size. It is based on the item content. The keyword isn't well supported, hard to test and harder to know what is. Okay, like I don't know, like you can check it out, okay, if you need. Otherwise, these properties are more than enough to do this. All right, guys. So this is what we had. Okay, please go through it. If you have any issues, we can discuss it. Now the next property is, now this flex can be flex horizontal or flex vertical. What to apply? So you can just check it out. Okay. Now, my point is, how can I have nested flex? Why do we need nested flex? It may happen that if you see these two boxes now, they look similar, right? So, but they have different headings. Okay, so they look so similar. The point is, you can have multiple nested flex. So either create separate flexes. Okay. Now my idea will be, the basic idea will be, this is since we already know about flex, don't do anything, just create containers, okay, and have elements something like this and give the, so if you see, flex can help you with everything over here, with every, none of the block is like you cannot create with flex. All right, we'll check this how to build this carousel, okay. Okay, but I guess there's, they apart from the carousel, I don't think there's anything you guys would be like will feel any trouble over here. For this one, you can proceed with the, what you can say, uh, flex direction column. Okay, guys. So you think anything which can be difficult over here to build, like anything want me to discuss particularly, or you are like trying it, you are building it right now, right, or not yet? All right. So then like it's totally fine. Then we have lots of ideas. My point is, um, Okay, let's see the next topic. Maybe we can discuss this also. So we'll study grid also. Okay, but yeah, let's cover one more thing, which is responsive design, and then we'll see quizzes. What are the units we are going to use? Let's see, cover that part. Okay, the unit parts. What are the units we have? Um, Most of the time I have used only pixels. Okay, so pixels are okay. Pixels are these pixels are just okay. So it is 1/96 of an inch. Okay, 1/96 of the inch. Number point is the pixel is basically um, absolute unit. Okay, it's an absolute unit, and there is something two types of unit we have. Okay, there are two types of unit we are having. We call it a relative unit and absolute unit. Now absolute unit do not change with relation to any other property, whereas we'll check it out that relative unit are more useful. Okay, how they are useful, that is one question. Let's see that, and how they are going to help us in our styling. So that is one more part. I will give this container again display flex. Okay, display flex. I will give it a background color. Background color can be something like this. All right. Now, okay, and justify content. You can say space around align items. You can say center. Okay. So with only three lines, how beautifully we can arrange boxes, and these are self-adjusting. So that is why flex is so important. So important. Okay. My point is, okay, I was talking about units, right? My point is, we have given it in a pixel. So pixel means it is not the screen pixel, the square we see in the pixel. That is the like hardware pixel. We are talking about software pixels. They are managed by 1/96 of inch. Okay, how does that happen? So do we have inch also? Yeah, we have inch also. So this is 1 inch. Okay, so this is 1 inch basically. So one item is like nine. You can see 96 pixel is there. If you guys, you're seeing that 96, 196. All right. So this is inch. Centimeter is also there. So centimeter is like we can see this is the pixel part. Acha, inch is there, centimeter is there, meter is also there. No, meter is not there. So inch is there, pixels are there. Uh, okay, let me check what are the other units. And this one. So these are the relatives. So these are absolute. Okay, pixels is there, inch is there, centimeter is there. So these are counted as absolute, fixed. Contrast to these, we have relative units. Relative to what? Relative to either its parent size or the complete body size. Okay, either to its parent size or complete body size. I will start with the first one. Do you guys want to say what are the relative units? Any relative units want to say? Correct, very correct. REM is there, EM is there. Perfect. Percentage, correct, very correct. So percentage is there. Now my point is, when I say 80%, 80%. So this is 80% is with respect to correct. Very correct. So 80% is parent, like the parent weight. So it is around 240, whatever it is. Okay, so it is around 240. Now my point is, this is one of the thing. Okay, so you can just go with this also. So maybe you can say 10%. So 10% of like 500 is 50 pixels. Okay, so which is 10%. So this is a relative. How it is a relative? It is relative in the sense, if I increase this width now, they will also increase. So if you just check it out, I will, let's say, make it 100 pixels, not 100 pixels, 1000 pixels. You can see that they have taken 100 pixels in the width. But here the point is, if I stick to pixel, no changes at all, they will never change. Do you guys agree with this? Okay, pixel percentage thing. Next unit is, which is a relative. We call it viewport height. Okay, we call it viewport height. So viewport height means, what is viewport? Correct. The area which is visible. What is the visible area here? From here to here, right? Where my mouse pointer is there. It means that if I close this, it will increase, or if I just shift it, see, you seeing this? A relative is there. Okay, relativity. Now this is one point. So 100 viewport width is there. Similarly, we have the viewport width also. So height is also there, width is also there. So this is one more of the unit. Viewport height, viewport width, percentage. Acha, two things more, EM and REM. For that, I want to have some content. Content can be um, item 1, item 2, item 3, finally item 4. All right. Acha, what is the by default size? What is the by default size? Sorry, what is the by default font size? 16 pixels. So 16 pixel is the by default font size. So I will give it I don't know, some color is baggy, bag, what we call it, baggy. I don't know. Okay, displays, flex, justify content, space between, align items, then we have it center. I will increase the font size. By default, it is 16 pixel, which is decided by browser itself. I want to increase the font size. Okay. So font is visible in this green color more. So let's increase the font size. Now the point is, how does this root element work? See this. One REM, one REM has no effect on the font size. I'll increase the screen size, magnify it. One rem has no effect on the font size. Okay? Whereas when I say 2em, 2em, what is the size now? Font size? I just said the default size. 32 pixels, right? 32 pixels is the 16 pixel is the by default font size, right, guys? Okay. So when you say 2 rem, it means 16 into 2, right? So that is what rem is, root element of font size. Okay, this is what the point is. अच्छा, what else, what is then, तो फिर em क्या है, what is em then? Let's see that also. Now this container font size, I'm saying that कि whatever container, what container font size is 20 pixel, ठीक है, 20 pixel. See this minute difference between em and rem. So 20 pixel is the container's font size. So whatever elements are not having font size, they are taking the default container font size, which is 20 pixels. Acha, it means that if I give font size, now rem is a root element font size, whereas em font takes from its ancestor, which is having a font size. So what is the size of this item 1? It is written 2em. It is taking, so em means take font size from your ancestor. Ancestor font size is 20 pixels. So what is the font size here? Correct, very correct. So this is the difference. This is taking from the root element. A browser decided है, browser has decided 16 pixels. ठीक है, तो rem is a root element, whereas em means ancestors font size. Is the difference clear, guys? Guys, is the difference clear? Rem, em. Yes, any parent, grandparent. Yes, correct, correct. A browser or HTML font size. ठीक है, whatever HTML is. We can change HTML's font size also. So these are the absolute and relative. Acha. So what can be helpful? Why are we reading this? This should be the question. The point is, कि it may happen that you are seeing this queue as a parent. So you want this to be half of the font size. ठीक है, half of the font size. So you can apply a font size and you can use em inside. So that is why it is used. Acha, one more thing with percentage, so, or viewport height width. If you are developing this responsive so that one can open in a mobile, so you can use viewport width also. So mobile viewport width is less, so it will adjust it accordingly, or if you open in tablet it will adjust accordingly. Are you guys getting my point? Okay, so that is why absolute units like are not that preferred. Okay, so we prefer okay, where is then absolute unit should be preferred? So absolute unit should be preferred on static things. For example, images is there. Okay, images is there, or any static thing which we want to keep the size constant. We do not want to fiddle with the size. So images is there, or maybe the font size is there. We don't want them to be related to like a relative, so that can be one of the case here. Acha, we are going to look at the how can we build the carousel. For that, let's study about positioning in css. Any like anyone wants to tell what is positioning in css? How does positioning works? All right, let's see positioning in css. Okay, let me name it where's the rename button? All right, this is tricky. Where is the rename? Okay, here is button. Flex box positioning. Anyone want to say something? All right. Yes, yes, very correct. Very correct. That is one of them. All right. Let's see. So I have a div. Inside it, I have one more div. Okay. And I have content inside it. Let's call it nested div and the outer div. Okay. Two divs are there, nested div, outer div. I will say class outer, class inner. Give it a style over here. Outer, inner, some height and width. So height 300 pixel, width 300 pixels. Let it give height 200 pixel, width 200 200 pixels. Acha. So, okay, we'll decide the background color. What I can give is border. Okay. Someone was asking like, how do we remember the CSS property? You do not have to remember. First thing. Okay. do not have to remember. Just like it is kind of thing now, like once you start developing projects, it's get automatically. So I don't think that is like much of a concern why we should be like reading, like okay, obviously you have to read. Memorizing is not like, you don't have to do that. It will come like the course of time. Okay. All right, so this is the outer diff, this is the nested diff. It would be good if I remove this outer diff. There is some point. Guys, have we discussed box model or not yet? Box model is discussed, right? uh, any confirmations, or should I discuss it, because that is an important one? So should I discuss box model? All right. Yes, yes, correct, correct. Here is the box model. Okay, this is the box model. It is already in the Google. Content, padding, border, margin. Okay, you can check it out. Acha, my point is, let me give it a background. So background can be any color in peak white, and let's give it a background. So I don't know. I I I really can't choose colors. Okay, my point is, this is how it is. Okay. Acha, so um, coming, what is positioning? Let's see. What is the origin of viewport? Origin, correct. So top left is the origin of the viewport. So everything is started at the top left. Okay, this outer box is starting from viewport top left, and the inner box is starting from its parent top left, not the page top left, parent top left. Remember, parent top left. So this outer has parent body, so it is viewport, but this is its parent top left. Now if you want to change these kind of things, like this is by default positioning. Okay, by default position is, what is the by default position? Static, right? Static is the by default position. Acha, but first one, relative. What is relative and how it works? Let's see. I want to move them from its original position. ठीक है, ओरिजिनल पोजीशन मतलब कि ओरिजिन से मूव करना है. हाउ डज इट वर्क? I want to shift 20 px from its original axis. So top axis is this one. This is the top one. This is the, like the top to bottom and left to right. From top, I want to shift it 20 pixel from its original position. So for that we have top, and I want to shift left from left 40 pixel. So I have done something like this. Similarly, bottom is also there. So bottom 50 pixel. Although since bottom maybe I can go with. So it is not always applied. Okay. See, it is not always applied. So if bottom is 100 pixels, so that is what it is applied. Okay. Now I'll have top. Okay. So if it is contrasting, it will not be applied. Right is also there. Right is also there. Maybe right is 60 pixels. 60 pixels. So let me remove left. Okay. We'll see. So this is 60 pixels. I'm like, all right. So this is what it is. So these are the properties. It is only possible, these four of them are only possible if it is position relative. This will not work if it is the position static. Is the relative positioning clear? relative positioning, clear. Third one, okay. So two we have studied is static. Like we didn't study anything in static. Static we know, relative we know. Third one is, which we are going to see is, I will switch off the toggles. We are going to see is, we call it absolute. This is absolute. Okay. How does this work? When I switch to top 20 pixel, okay, top 20 pixel, or maybe let's say bottom 100. So bottom 100. One thing is strange here. This box is coming outside the parent. Outside the parent. This is the 100 pixel from the viewport bottom. Like what is the point? When we say position absolute na, it searches for it searches in the like its parents, which is, or the ancestor, it searches for relative positioning. Whenever we say the child as position absolute, it searches a relative in its complete hierarchy. If it get relative, it shifts according to that. Otherwise, it shifts according to the body tag, the complete viewport. So this bottom 100 pixel and position absolute, it is making 100 pixel calculate from the viewport, because no one is relative. But I want to make the div relative. See the change. Okay? Monitor the change. The position is now changed to relative. As soon as I say relative, my inner box is taking 100 pixel from the bottom of bottom of its parent. Correct, very correct. Because now relative is no more viewport, it is its parent. So it is a bit of tricky, not that tricky. Absolute means it will come out of the flow. If it will search for a grandparent, sorry, a ancestor with a position relative, it will find, it will shift according to that. Otherwise, it will shift according to the viewport. Is absolute clear, guys? See this again. Let's redo this. I will switch off everything. I will delete it. Okay, I will delete everything. I will delete this also. Or let me switch this off. A relative is clear now. Relative, no issues in relative. ठीक है. A relative, when we say relative, what page has decided the position of elements? When we say relative, so my box will say what is the decided position and shift according to that. By default position or decided position. Now comes absolute. Absolute says I do not follow any rule. I do not follow any rule until and unless I find a parent with a relative. Absolute means out of the tree. It means out of the tree. Out of the tree means right. See this. Out of the tree means right 20 pixels. Are you getting out of the tree meaning? So it is out of tree means it does not follow the rule. It is following the 20 pixel from the viewport. Yes, yes. It searches for relative. अगर रिलेटिव मिला तो ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर व्यूपोर्ट को रिलेटिव मान लेगा. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? अच्छा, बट व्हेन आई टॉगल दिस रिलेटिव, तो 20 पिक्सल इज फ्रॉम, गेटिंग द पॉइंट, एब्सोल्यूट. So this is what absolute is. So this is the difference between relative and absolute. Any confusion now? That's good. व्यू पोर्ट, सीधा व्यू पोर्ट, ठीक है. It will search up the chain if someone is in the hierarchy, parent, grandparent, relative. तो follow that, follow whoever is, ठीक है. Otherwise follow the viewport. Make sense, guys? All right. Let's switch everything off. Next one is position fixed. Position fixed. Ah, so position is fixed. Let me give it height 110 vertical height. ठीक है, वर्टिकल 110 वर्टिकल हाइट मीन्स ब्रिंग अ स्क्रोल, बिकॉज 100 तो यही हो गया, 100 VH यही होगा. सो इफ यू वांट टू ब्रिंग अ स्क्रोल, गिव मोर देन दी 100. तो you can see that there is a scroll, but there is one thing, my box is fixed. Let me show one more thing. ठीक है, फिक्स मतलब कि सीधा व्यू पोर्ट, नो पेरेंट, नो ग्रैंड पेरेंट, नो ग्रेट ग्रैंड पेरेंट. Fixed means viewport, no, nothing. Whatever you scroll, it does not matter. Scroll anywhere we want. 200 VH, ठीक है, lots of scroll. ठीक है, I will keep on scrolling. You can see this box is scrolling, but this nested div is not following any scroll. Is it clear? The fixed positioning. Fixed means do not follow anyone. Similar to absolute, but no relative. Same as absolute with, but absolute will scroll. Remember, absolute will scroll. This will never scroll. It sticks to the page. Yes, yes. It will come out of the tree. It will come out of the HTML tree. ठीक है, it will not follow any scrolling or anything. ठीक है, and these right, top, bottom will be compared by viewport. All right. Okay, let's try this relative thing. No effect. See, it means that this is different than absolute, right? Second, a difference with absolute. It is not following a relative and it is not scrolling also. There is one last positioning. We call it sticky. Yeah, positioning is sticky. How does this work? Top is 30. Okay. Height is 20. Why it is not following this right thing? All right. So I will try to scroll it. Okay. Let's see the scroll. And I wanted to have my box as margin top, the container, the outer box as margin top 50 pixels, or maybe let's say 80 pixels. 80 pixels. ठीक है, margin top 80 pixels for the outer box. Inner one having a position sticky and top 30 pixel. Have a close look. ठीक है, have a close look. I will go on scrolling and you see this. Both are scrolling. You see this, guys? Both are scrolling, right? Now, when my box reaches 30 pixel, what is scrolling? The outer div. Is inner div if inner div is scrolling nested div? Yes, and fixed at top 30 pixel. It will scroll till it reaches 30 pixel. That's it. Then it will become fixed. Is the point clear? Yes, but we do not have a right scroll, right? Try it out. Tell me if you can achieve. Otherwise, we'll try to have that in the class. All right. So these were the things: sticky, fixed, absolute, relative, and static. Is the positioning part clear? Some rules are top, left, right, bottom only works if the position is set. Okay, only if the position is set they will work, otherwise they will not work. We just saw this, right? For static it does not work. Margin, padding, height, width only work for block elements, block display elements. We know this also. Last thing for today is, before we will study the fixed fluid layouts and media queries in the next session. So last thing for today is Z index and some rules. How Z indexing works. Okay. So I have a question also, but we'll come to this later. I want you guys to see something. Okay. Anyways, I can show you here also. So div and inner div. All right. So let the width be 100 pixels and the width be 150 pixels. Let me assign some colors to them. So background goes antique white, background goes something like green, and the background goes, let's you want to say something? Yes. So acha, now these are stacked on top of one another, right? Now if you want to change the stacking, means I want this to come forward, what should I do? Okay, so Z indexing is 10, but that is not working. Why it is not working? Let's see that also. Let's give it position absolute, position as absolute, and this position as, so it is a very rare use case, but yeah, it can be used. So I want this to come at the top. Okay, so Z index is given. Let me be 12. Let's call it 12. And I want to supply a Z index to this as, let's say, 10. Should it be working? Again, it's not working. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so how should I make it work is I can, so if it is overlapping, I can assign higher index and then it will not overlap it, or maybe it will go down. So Z index is given 10 and Z index is given 12. So this should be working, but why is it isn't working is, let's see. Okay, so we have done this, right? So what are we missing? Are missing display, negative Z index. Not sure. Z negative Z indexing will. Okay. So, but okay. But this should be also working, right? Acha. Let me assign it higher one. Okay. 23 or something. Okay, no, this is not working. -2. -12 is taking it backwards. Cha. So if I put a Z index, let's say 10 or let's say -9, not working. This is totally unique. 34 or maybe -34. So minus is working only. So providing Z index, let's say -10. Okay, maybe we can have a reference. So Z index from the MDN. So we can check this out. These things work well. So positions element and a descendant of flex items. Overlapping element with a larger Z index cover these with a smaller one. Why is it isn't working? For the position box, that is one with any position other than a static, Z index property specifies the stack level of the box. So dashed box, golden box, green box. So we have these things. No, this is something else. We're saying wrapper is position relative, dash box is position relative, gold box position absolute, and this is absolute. Put green box above dashed box. Put green box above dashed box. So what it is doing for that is, all right. That is working. So this is gold box, right? So gold box is having Z index. So put the gold box above dashed, of green box and dashed box, above green box and the dashed box. That is good. Okay. So if you want to play with these two, okay, let me do one thing. I will say right, and I will say 20 pixel. Let increase this, and I want to give it 50. And the Z index should, if I want it at the top, so maybe I want it higher. Okay, all right, it is not working again. So the last thing would be maybe shift this to position a relative. Okay, so why are the devs not working still? Could I put a minus? Okay, so minus is this. Okay, let me check. I will find one example for this one. Okay, then we can discuss. There's be something I'm missing. But okay, anyways, it doesn't matter. So check this link out if you find anything good. Otherwise, we will discuss this thing again tomorrow. Okay. All right. So please mark the attendance before we leave. Sorry, leave. So today is 13. So today is 13. All right, it's 13. 13. And it is Saturday. All right. Thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time, right? Yep. Bye.